Hey guys, in today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how I make nearly 7 to 9 mil per hour. Obviously, the circumstances vary, so I'm going to be going through a in-depth but simple guide to getting you to where I am today. Moneymakers on Hypixel Skyblock are very hard to find, and some people don't really explain it properly. So if you like this video now, get it to 1,500 likes, I'll upload another moneymaker, and trust me, you will not be disappointed. So make sure you guys subscribe so you can get the notification for that video when it does come out. So we are going to be going over sorrow farming. I think one of the main aspects is to kind of show the drop table so that way you guys can be expecting what drops you can get and also how much you can sell them for to the auction house or the NPC. The first item that we're going to go over is the Volta, which basically adds drill fuel. This doesn't really come with any value. You have ghostly boots. Now you can use this ghostly boots and sell it to the NPC for 77k. This drops every now and then, but this isn't the main loot. You also have plasmas that sell for 20k, and then you also have sorrows. Now sorrows will sell upwards to 200 to 250k. I farm in full stacks, so they're going for around 16 mil per set. The juiciest is a bag of cash that sells to the NPC for a flat rate of 1 mil. The simplest way to get there is to open up your Skyblock menu and then warp over to the deep caverns. Go ahead and follow the path on screen. When you get to the lift operator, you're going to go ahead to the Dwarven Mines, and you're also going to follow the path on screen for the most efficient method. So there's actually two spots that you can farm, but for today's video, we're going to call this spot A. If you go over to your right into this cave and go forward, you'll get into spot B. Now over here on spot A, you actually receive 16% more efficiency. The reason for this is because spot A spawns more mobs. Over at the B location, it is a little bit slower, but if there is lobbies that is a little bit too competitive or sweaty, you can go to the B location. I do want to paint a picture here. If you make 100 million doing sorrows at the B location, if you were farming at A location, you would be making 116 mil. Now the main question is, how much money can I make per hour? Now before we get to that, we have to see what your setup is. So on this guide, I'm going to be brutally honest, going from lowest armor to highest armor for the maximum efficiency and carrying on from there. Now trust me, I know how you guys feel. All these gigajacked YouTubers getting a massive amount of contraband. You guys are not able to get all your talismans. So for conducting this experiment, we're going to be removing half of our most expensive talismans in order for us to get accurate results for average players. Okay, so we have removed our most expensive talismans and a little bit more to compensate because my combat level is at level 50. Now for conducting this experiment for beginners, you need to buy a soul whip. I've actually never really seen it at 17 mil. That's actually really high, but I'm going to buy it regardless. If you're watching this video and you're thinking about getting a soul whip, it might be a little bit more or less, so just keep that in mind. Okay, so for the first set right here, we're going to try a very low budget strong set and then also a very clean soul whip. Together, this whole setup should be under 20 mil. So I'm running around, and every single time I get hit by one, I take nearly 4 hearts of true damage. I'm not going to lie here, it is possible that you can do this with the strong armor, but I'm looking closely in and I'm doing 30k damage. If you didn't know, the ghosts have 1 million, so it is going to take a little while for you to kill this. I do die pretty frequently. I've died twice already in the last 5 minutes, just trying to hurl them into a corner. I don't think it's a viable method with strong boys. So personally, if you're talking about me and efficiency, this 20 mil set with strong is just not going to do. Now the next set that we're going to do is the holy set. Now the reason for this is because you actually get a lot more health regen and there's a lot of defense with this set. It doesn't quite really matter what your defense is or health because the ghosts do true damage with a little bit of regular damage. But with this setup, and later on we're going to try the Terra setup, I would say for both these two setups and the soul whip just clean, you're looking around 20 to 22 mil. So I've noticed every single time that I'm going around and killing these, it seems to me that I need a lot more distance. I need to aim further up so that way I can actually kill them. But I'm doing 25k damage, which the strong I'm doing a little bit more. But with this set, I'm actually able to last longer and efficiently do this without getting hit too much. So if you're talking about efficiency, I think this might be better. Okay, now we're gonna go ahead and try the Terra set. Okay, so I'm doing this in the Terra set right now, and I can tell I'm a lot tankier. I don't understand why, but I'm getting 26k per hit. This is very, very low. One thing that I have to add on is that this is a soul whip clean. Just know that you're going to be getting a lot more life steal and damage out of this once you put reforges and enchants on it. But just to kind of show the general public if you can possibly do this and if it's a viable method, I'm going to the lowest tier. So now we're going to be using Superior with a clean soul whip. Superior grants me 35k, which is significantly more. If you were to compare this to the strong set, I'm doing an additional 10k more damage. I'm surviving the hits and I'm actually able to tank this for a little while. So Superior is definitely up there with the top tier sets. Necron, I'm nearly doing 60k damage. So if you guys had a little bit more cash on you and can afford a top tier setup, I would definitely say Necron for damage beats everything. One thing that I want to say is that Superior gives you 5% more stats when you wear the full set, which means you'll get 5% more magic find, which means you'll probably get nearly 5% more money because you're 5% more likely to find the drops. Going on with Necron, you're able to kill them faster because it is the most damage, which means that if you're looking at pet level or possibly get up to combat 50 faster, I would go for the Necron. Now for the second part of the video, we're going to be buying a Withered Soul Whip that is completely maxed out for 47 mil. One thing that I want to mention is that this Soul Whip has Scavenger 5. So we're going to see here if the Soul Whip is the main thing that you should be looking for when purchasing either your armor or weapon. So literally just with a max Soul Whip alone, I'm able to triple my damage at 100k per hit. Once again, ghosts have 1 mil health. So if you are able to survive in strong armor, tank a couple hits and keep moving around, then I would definitely say focus and prioritize your money on getting a max Soul Whip. Okay, so for young armor is a little bit more tankier, but I'm doing 85k per hit. Now with Terra armor, I'm hitting about 90k per hit. With superior armor here, I'm hitting about 120k per hit. Now in full Necron, I'm hitting about 180k per hit. I'm going to be re-adding all my talismans now. So with nearly max talismans in a superior set, I'm doing about 250k damage, which is double. And in Necron, I'm hitting 350k. So everything to this point, I really want to stress how much it actually really takes to get to this point. Probably going to want to work on a lot of things like mining and farming, so that way you can get a better defense level and more HP. I also want to say sorry to the people out there. I can't give a 100% accuracy when it comes down to the talismans and what you guys may have. My account is very structured, and unfortunately, I don't have an alt account that I can practice on that's more average. But hopefully me taking all my talismans and using lower sets can give you a little bit of an idea to see how it would be farming. Okay, so now I'm going to be telling you how much money you could be making. Now this experiment is only going to be used solely on the fact that I'm using a max superior set. Literally in the video now, I'm also using a max Soul Whip. Now I've done this for a couple of hours, and I think that this screenshot right here is the fairest RNG. In the screenshot, you can see that I've farmed for 1 hour and 5 minutes. The reason I added the 5 minutes is because we're not complete robots and we actually like to take piss and eat and talk to our friends. So I let the timer go on for an extra 5 minutes for something a little bit realistic. I was averaging about 750k XP per hour. Unfortunately, I didn't get any bags of cash which yield 1 mil value to them, but I got 22 sorrows, which right now as of today is 5.5 million. You can add on an extra 2 mil, which makes it 7.5 million per hour because you get a lot of cash from your scavenger. This is why scavenger is really huge to put on. Scavenger 4 isn't too bad at all, but scavenger 5, if you plan on farming this for a while, is around 15 mil. I think it's nearly about 15 to 20 hours of farming and you'll make your money back. So the longer you do this, the more it'll pay itself off and give you additional profit. Now Dragonhorn is the stone that allows you to get the renowned reforge. The reforge allows you to increase most stats by 1%. So keep in mind, even trying to go an extra step and making sure you can get more magic find will increase the odds of you getting more money per hour. So one thing that I want to mention is that you can actually do this with a friend. If you guys are both within 8 blocks of each other and your friend hits it at least once, both of you guys qualify for the item. I also want to add that you guys should not go and just crash somebody, because there's people like myself that like to level up pets while doing this method because it grants a very good amount of combat experience. If more people are there and taking my combat experience, then I'm probably going to try and cancel you on Twitter. So making nearly 7 to 8 million just purely off natural drops alone, being able to pet level something from level 1 to 100 and then selling that to the auction house, to make all that time that you would use to level up that pet, nearly make it 10 to 11 mil per hour. Pet leveling is something that people have done for a very long time, and there's various collectors out there that are willing to pay top-notch price for pets that are level 100. Pets like Jerry, Snowman Horse, and Skeleton Horse, and many other pets are almost completely garbage to actually use. So leveling up these pets and selling it to collectors for anywhere to 60 to 100 mil is actually a viable option. Also, the faster you kill the mobs, the faster it's going to respawn. Now, depending on your setup and what you're going to be using, I'm not too sure how much experience or money per hour you'll be getting, but just know that you can gradually work on upgrading your pieces and your armor along the way, even if you're starting from something very, very low. Once again, I would prioritize getting the Soul Whip first, maxing out the talismans, and then working on the armor set. Subscribe and like for a part 2 if you guys want another one. Thank you guys for watching, and I don't really do tutorials often, so let me know what you guys think about this one if you make it all the way through. Thanks for sticking with me, and I'll see you guys in the next one.